Hey guys, welcome back. We are so thankful to have you here. And we actually have Pyro back joining us.
Hey yo, what's up, guys?
All right, let's jump right into it. We have a lot to talk about as Mania was 2 nights this year, and sounds like they're going to continue to keep it at 2 nights. I think we can all sense Pyro's frustration in that. So starting off night one.
I sure hope we can sense my frustration because this whole 2 night event is just really, really dumb.
Yeah, we know.
3 events in 2 days. Stupid.
Starting off night one, we'll get straight into it, was the Usos versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs for the SmackDown titles. Now, it was a pretty nice back and forth match. However, Rick Boogs did get injured early on in the match. So Usos went straight into the ending of it and took out the win.
Respect to them for acknowledging that that is a thing and being smart enough to go pretty much straight into the finish. Speedy recovery to Bugs. You hate to see it happen. To anybody like them, dislike them. Injuries suck no matter what.
All right, you want to bring us into the next match?
All right. Next match we continued and hopefully concluded the Happy Corbin Drew McIntyre feud. Not only did McIntyre pick up the win, he became the first person ever in Baron Corbin's career to kick out of the end of days.
Yes.
That's impressive to run about a 6 to 8 year career, and this now being the first time your finishing move has ever not finished a match.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, this did end about a year of Happy Corbin not losing.
This ended about a 6 to 8 month winning streak for Corbin since he struck it big in Vegas. Towards the end of the match, Madcap Moss tried to interfere and, come after McIntyre, and McIntyre swung Angela and decided, I'm gonna cut 2/3 of the ropes out. That was fun to watch.
Very great back and forth match, but leading into the next one, which saw a lot of high fly, was the Mysterios, Dominic and Ray, going against the Miz and Logan Paul. And to everyone's dismay, picking up an upsetting win was the Miz and Logan Paul.
There's a couple things I do want to touch on. First off, the Eddie tributes throughout the match were absolutely phenomenal, from the move sets that all these guys decided to incorporate into the match to the gear that Ray and Dom had.
Even Logan Paul paid a tribute to him.
Yep. Logan Paul did a really good job of holding his own. I'm not gonna lie. I had little to no faith in him going into this match. He definitely proved me wrong. Would I say I want to continue to see him around? Not really. But I wouldn't mind it if he made an appearance. Like, I wouldn't complain too much about him making another appearance or two. But I'm hoping it's not a consistent thing. However, the moment I want to talk about, my favorite moment of the entire thing, didn't even happen after the match, or didn't happen during the match. It happened after the fact. As Logan and Miz are celebrating, you see the shift in Miz's mood, and Logan eats a skull-crushing finale of his own. It was beautiful.
Beautiful. And speaking of beauty, let's move on to the next match. Becky Lynch coming out looking like the woman from Paramore.
Hayley Williams.
I always forget her name, but respect to her. Came out looking like her, and Lady Gaga had a child, as Flash said it.
Very much the love child to them and Madonna.
Yes. She took on Bianca Belair, who, of course, made us all proud with her entrance and her ring attire. Absolutely beautiful. They went at it, of course, for the Raw women's title, and now your new Raw Women's Champion and a long-deserved rivalry, Bianca Belair.
That puts her at 2-0 at Mania. Kind of co-main eventing 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And taking the championship gold home 2 years in a row. She went back to back with it, baby.
But wishing a speedy recovery to her, as she did end up with a busted eye at the end of the match. Obviously, everybody thought that it was a mislip on her eyelash, but it unfortunately wasn't. She went home with a very swollen eye, and it is now black and blue. So, very speedy recovery to her.
All right, moving into the next match. We had the meeting leading up to this match. Seth Rollins got his WrestleMania moment. Because, I mean, let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
And I pointed this out to you while we were watching.
Mm-hmm.
What is he? Aside from injury, when was the last time we failed to see Rollins at Mania?
There wasn't a year. Aside from the 1 year he was injured, what was it, 32, correct?
I believe so.
There hasn't been a Mania since the Shield's debut that Rollins has missed.
Like, honestly, that's another just impressive feat in and of itself, to be that consistent of a presence at the showcase of the Immortals. You got to be doing something right there. And honestly, like, Rollins without Mania and Mania without Rollins would have just been weird. But anyway, so, given his opponent was somebody of Vince McMahon's choosing, he didn't get to know until he got to the ring. The anticipation was nerve-wracking. We had a lot of rumored names. We talked Goldberg, we talked Elias, we talked Bray, we talked Taker teasing a match the night before during his Hall of Fame speech.
And even right before getting the announcement, it looked like Bray was the one coming out with all the fireflies in the audience waiting for him.
Definitely sent chills down my spine, but it makes me happy to speak these words. The rumors were true. Cody Rhodes made his return at Mania, the same event that 6 years prior, same stadium, 6 years prior, that he wrestled last for the company. He makes his triumphant return. I think Corey Graves said it best: from undesirable to undeniable, the prodigal son has returned home. And honestly, I think this is huge for him in every aspect. He went from, I know we remember Stardust joke gimmick, really low, not even real mid-carder. He left, took the hiatus that he needed for the 6 years, became a legit main event star, and I cannot wait to see what comes out of this second run for him. Because
what needs to come out of the second run for him is an actual WWE championship.
He teased that in an interview recently, accomplishing something that his father never got to accomplish,
and his brother,
which was a WWE title reign. But let's not speak that out there and
speak it into existence and jinx him
any chance we have. I will state that this match was probably my favorite of the night, if not the entire weekend.
Agreed.
Absolute freaking clinic, and to see these guys, run it back like they have so many times in so many ways, from even before their time with WWE, was absolutely magical.
So who picked up the win?
Your winner in his return match, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And God, that feels so great to say.
All right, jumping down from there, we have Charlotte Flair taking on Ronda Rousey for Charlotte's SmackDown Women's title. This was, it had its back and forth moments, but I have to say, it really wasn't that interesting. There was very small build up to this, and like you had said prior to me earlier in the week, Charlotte was the only one holding this feud together, carrying pretty much Ronda on her shoulders.
It wasn't that it was a minimal buildup. It was just you had one person investing so much time and energy into the rivalry, into the feud, to be met with a brick wall.
Yeah. So retaining her title, Charlotte Flair, yet again keeping her winning streak mostly at Mania.
I mean, it was a decent-ish match.
Mm-hmm.
Nice back and forth. All right, now to what's going to be 90% of the wrestling community's favorite moment. Main eventing the night was a KO segment featuring the Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin, in which we saw KO talk nothing but smack about Texas to Stone Cold, who is a Texan. He then admitted, "Hey, I invited you to my show because I wanted to challenge you to a no holds barred match." Not only did Stone Cold accept, you could tell he had a lot of fun with it. Turned into about a 20-minute match. And he picked up the win. Like I said, had a lot of fun, took it around the arena, drank some beers mid-match, post-match, and everybody caught a stunner much like expected.
All right. Let's jump straight into night 2 right away. Starting off, night 2 was RK Bro putting their Raw Tag Team titles on the line against the Street Profits and Alpha Academy. Again, very happy with all the entrances. I know you and Flash were very upset that the red solo cups from the Street Profits didn't shoot straight out the star, but they rained from the top.
It would have been amazing.
It would have been, however, that's just not the way it went about. But as predicted, and the only one to predict it, RKO picked up the win. RK Bro, picked up the win. Need I say more?
Can we talk about a few moments in that match, actually?
Bring it on up.
First off, I lost track of how many RKOs we've seen between the partners, because there was a lot of them.
Still beautiful that Randy allows Riddle to do that.
That just shows you how much respect he has for his tag partner, because let's be real, how many people is he going to be like, yeah, sure, go ahead, use my move?
Right.
The Avalanche RKO from Riddle was a thing of beauty.
However, that wasn't the one that picked up the win.
No, that was
Chad Gable had went to the second rope and was looking to jump, and Randy Orton again with an RKO out of nowhere.
In typical Orton fashion, just picks him off midair. So congrats to the champs.
After that, we had seen Lashley take on Omos, in which, being the only odd one out, I had lost that. Lashley picked up the win with a spear. Not really much back and forth. I mean, it was a very slow going match. There was really nothing to it.
I mean, it was literally just a battle of two super heavyweights. I'm gonna hit you as hard as I can.
Let's see if you can get back up.
Let's see if you can get back up. I am just happy to see Lashley back from injury, because I know he wasn't gone for long, but
those type of injuries can be very career damaging if you're gone for long with it.
Yeah.
So,
I will state this next match was so entertaining, so much fun to watch. We saw Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville in an anything goes match. We saw a lot of hijinks and shenanigans.
Got to see a lot of the Jackass crew.
Oh, pretty much all of the Jackass crew. But it was pretty much just one giant episode of Jackass. So for like a solid 15-20 minutes, that's all you saw was the stupidity that is that crew. Johnny picks up the win in the most entertaining thing I have seen all night. Just me, Flash,
and Panda's cousin MKE.
we just it was just a giant gag fest for all of us. Couldn't stop laughing.
They were calling out the shots for everybody, picking up who was going to come out. And then there was even a strip chant throughout the place, started by the three boys.
I'm sorry, but Party Boy is known for one thing and one thing only, and that is stripping.
Well, it was nice to see the smiles on everybody.
And then gyrating on Sami Zayn and making him probably the most uncomfortable I've ever seen him. Beautiful.
Hey, if anybody was gonna deal with the dumb shit, it was gonna be Zayn. I couldn't see another wrestler pulling it off better than Sammy.
Honestly, respect to him for staying in character the entirety of that match. Because I know I would have broken. I know 90% of the locker room would have broke.
They were probably breaking backstage.
Oh, as soon as they got backstage, you know that was just filled with laughter.
All right, going from, again, something very jackass and disturbing wise to an entire ring filled with beautiful women. We saw the tag team championships being put on the line, with Carmella and Queen Zelina walking out as your champions versus Natalya and Shayna Baszler versus Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, and lastly Sasha Banks and Naomi. And now we have new tag team champs in Sasha Banks and Naomi. I know you weren't very happy with them picking up the win.
Out of everybody in that match, congratulations to them. Honestly, I am kind of happy we got new champions.
Yes.
But they needed the moment the least.
True.
Honestly, like, Natalya and Shayna have been struggling to stay relevant for a very long time at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Liv and Rhea are kind of starting to get lost in the shuffle, and honestly, I figured, give Liv a WrestleMania moment after she pretty much helped carry the last a solid like 6 to 7 months
of the women's division
with Becky, because they didn't know what else to do for that time being. Give her that moment, give Rhea the moment, just because she was teamed with Liv.
Yeah.
And again, she hasn't really had anything significant since
she lost her Raw Women's Championship to Charlotte.
And even then, because she was involved in the tag team title picture with Nikki ASH, but it wasn't really significant.
I say if we're going to give Rhea another big moment, we have her go to SmackDown and we have her go up against Charlotte for the title, because she needs that win. She is 0-2 against Charlotte Flair.
Honestly, I'm not even going to say she needs Charlotte specifically, but she definitely needs
I say
something.
I say she picks it up against whoever's holding the title at the time. Charlotte's going to come challenge her. I hope she picks up that win. She retains the title against her, because,
like I said, she just needs something significant at this point in her career, because she is a badass and she deserves a lot more than what she's getting. But transitioning from our women's division back to our men, we saw a dream match. I don't know how many years in the making. The phenomenal one, AJ Styles, takes on the Hall of Famer, the rated R superstar, Edge. Had some slow points. Overall, a really good match, because these two are such strong workers. Styles did hold an L at the end of the night, giving Edge. So with that, Edge picks up a win via a distraction and another rumor confirmation on Edge's new faction, and the first member being Damian Priest. I'm really excited to see where that goes and how that story progresses, because it really he kind of just popped up out of the blue and was just like,
I'm here.
Why? Where did you come from? Why are you here? But congratulations to Edge. Continue giving me this story, because it is probably one of the most entertaining things Raw has going for it right now.
Agreed.
And that's really sad.
Agreed, considering, the entirety of its being, Raw was always seen as the A show, whereas neither one of the main rosters are any relevance as of right now. They're kind of getting very stale.
I mean, yeah, very stale, very repetitive.
We need something new to kind of bump it up, and obviously this could be one of the ones.
Yes, and the thing that really makes that sad is, or makes it great in a sense, is this is a storyline that doesn't have or doesn't need a title to make it entertaining.
Agreed.
And before we jump into our next match, I do want to I do want to just talk about something that is bothering the hell out of me.
And that being?
Neither mid-card title was featured on either part of the card.
Even kickoff shows.
And I honestly, that bothers me because I remember a time when all of your titles held enough significance to be featured each and every month, each and every pay-per-view, even if it wasn't defended. You saw your champions every chance they had to show them. And I personally think that is disrespectful beyond all hell to both your U.S. champion Finn Balor, who has been on such a losing streak since winning the title,
which is complete BS,
and to Ricochet, who has been working his tail off for the last 6 years at this point since the call up to even find a spot on the roster. And now that you put a title on him, you're not giving him anything. A title feel, a champion feel. And that's not okay.
I have a feeling that neither of their reigns is going to last very long, and it's going to go on to one of the other boys who were really sick of seeing hold these titles.
I mean, no matter who it goes on to, it's not like it's not like we're going to remember who it is in 2-3 weeks.
True. All right, transitioning off of that to the next match on the card. New Day members Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods took on Sheamus and Ridge Holland with Pete fucking Dunne. His name is Pete Dunne. His name will always be Pete Dunne. I've done this shit with Walter. His name is not Gunther. It is Pete fucking Dunne. All right? I'm sick of
Gunther is Pete Dunne?
No. You know what I mean. All right? It's Pete fucking Dunne. It is not Butch. All right? So, picking up the win in that match, very technical, very good back and forth, was Sheamus and Ridge Holland. However, Pete Dunne, being who he is, got very scrappy at the end and tried attacking Xavier Woods, to which Sheamus and Ridge were just kind of like, no, dude, you look like a mini chihuahua just trying to attack a leaf. Let's go.
And just kind of pulled him away. It wasn't even just after the match. He kept various spots during the match to get involved.
And I'm just saying he actually got his hands on him then.
Yes.
Looked like a chihuahua trying to attack a leaf.
I was saying, Sheamus had to kind of remind him, hey,
not the time or place.
Stop this. But all right, transitioning from tag team action to singles competition. We saw Pat McAfee get his WrestleMania moment in, again, an opponent of Vince McMahon's choosing. One, Austin Theory. McMahon sat at ringside throughout the entirety of this match, watched his new protege, because we saw this before with Drew McIntyre's first run with the company. We saw Pat McAfee do exactly what he said he was going to do, and that was beat the hell out of Austin Theory. He picked up the 1, 2, 3 victory, and then post-match, Theory is being consoled by Vince. McAfee is like, hey Vince, why don't you get in here? And not only did Vince oblige to McAfee's challenge, he beat him.
He beat him, but with
a lot of underhanded tactics.
A lot of attacks via Theory. Still beat him because it was the chairman. Nothing that Theory did was technically illegal in the match.
Can't be illegal if the ref's not watching, which 90% of Theory's involvement wasn't seen.
Actually, go back and watch the match again. He watched all of it and had a look of disgrace, but what are you going to do when the man that's signing your paychecks is telling you not to call it?
I mean, fair point. Post match, we get to see Stone Cold segment part 2. His music hits. You see the look of just pure terror and oh shit come above Vince McMahon's face. His music hits. He gets down to the ring, grabs a couple beers. McMahon points him in the direction of Austin Theory. Theory eats a stunner. Vince and Steve share a beer for Vince to then eat a stunner. And then McAfee eats a stunner.
After Stone Cold called him into the ring, they shared a couple beers, and to end it out, he ate a stunner.
Best part of it, though, is even after having having eaten the stunner and rolling out of the ring, he is laying there, leaned against the announce table, on his back, recovering from all of that night. 2 matches plus a stunner, still drinking a beer.
Was a beautiful moment. So ending out the night is something that is very controversial, something we're not necessarily happy about. But obviously, the two that won against us, Desario and Panda, are very, very happy. WWE Champion Brock Lesnar went against Roman Reigns, your Universal Champion, your Tribal Chief, in a winner-takes-all unification match, and picking up the 1-2-3 victory in a match that was mostly finishers than anything was Roman Reigns.
Finishers on Roman's end, if you paid attention to Brock during
Yes.
that match, he was swinging for the fences every chance he got.
Yes.
He wasn't holding anything back. It really caught me by surprise to see him just bell rings, take off the gloves, didn't even get 2 seconds into the match.
And went at it.
You knew he was out for blood and he wanted to do some serious damage. I think he did, but I don't think he did enough.
I can't wait to see them go against each other. I know we had talked post-match about, next title defense, Roman goes up against another rando, somebody who earns that, and then Beast comes in and is like, yo, I want you, Hell in a Cell, let's do it, for the titles, and Brock takes that win, because who's going to be more dangerous than Brock Lesnar in a Hell in a Cell?
There's nothing scarier than Happy Brock, especially when Happy Brock has nothing left to lose. Oh.
So this rivalry, if they write it correctly this year, could be beautiful for SmackDown Live.
And I'm going to say something that's going to shock you, because I have been fighting this forever. Upon them wins, because Roman has had one hell of a title run.
Mm-hmm.
I will officially announce right here on Wrestling Crossroads, I am acknowledging him as the Tribal Chief, as the head of the table, as the one to beat in the company. Because guess what? He and the Bloodline hold all the freaking gold right now.
If we include Naomi to that as well, she's holding gold now. So, all right, guys, wrapping up everything. Thank you again for listening. Thank you again for tuning in. Tyro, any last words?
I'm just happy that we finally got this going, and I'm hoping we can continue to grow and expand. We'll see. You'll hear from us very soon.
Very, very soon. You guys have a good night.